It don't get much better than that. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, make sure you go hit that subscribe button. That way you can follow along with all the updates on my Mazda build. And if you hadn't watched the previous video, go back and check that out, and you'll see how I walled this off for this 6-cylinder build. But today we're going to be focusing on this bottom panel here. Going to be relocating the amp, and probably, well, not probably, we are. So behind the scenes, I tried to fit the headliner, and I kind of figured it wasn't going to fit, and it of course did not. So it is what it is. I'm actually going this evening. Found a factory headliner and on a Facebook Marketplace. It's in Greer, South Carolina. It's about an hour away from me. So I'm gonna go pick that up this afternoon, and that way I can still have at least a factory headliner. So what I'm gonna do is, on this back panel, I'm actually gonna mount the 6.5s and the tweeters that I have. I'm gonna do a 6.5 there, 6.5 there, and I don't know if I'm gonna do them straight up and down or maybe at an angle. I don't know yet, but so 6.5, 6.5, and then I got the tweeters. Probably do the tweeters, one there and one there. But yeah, I hate that headliner didn't work out, but it is what it is. Ain't gonna cry about it. So actually yesterday I just picked up this ultra cap capacitor, so I'm gonna run that in parallel with my auxiliary battery back here in the back, and I think it's looking about, that's where it's gonna sit at. So it's still it needs to be charged up and everything, but I think that's gonna be a good spot for that. And I'm thinking my amp is probably gonna have to go somewhere over here, because I got this brace. It's actually a shelving brace. This good old Hyper Tough heavy duty shelf bracket from Walmart. It's like $5, but I'm gonna bolt this to the center here, because this back panel, whenever the base is, hitting this back panel, it flexes a lot. So I'm gonna try and combat that with this brace here. So I will, push that up as tight as I can against it, and drill my holes. That way, hopefully this will help with the bracing on this rear wall here. And I'm thinking probably do the amp right in this area. Still got to figure out where to mount this fire extinguisher though. I really don't want to mount it to this plastic, but I mean, I don't think it would be a problem. But I'm still got to figure that part out. But yeah, I'm gonna get started, and I'll check back in with you guys later. All right, so this is what I've come up with so far. I think I'm gonna mount the fire extinguisher right here. That way I can, if anything was to happen, I could run over here to this side, slide that seat up, and then unhook it from right here. I honestly could probably reach behind the seat and unhook it, because it don't take much to undo that latch. But so I got the amp moved from under the driver's seat, and I'm going to elevate it. I just got these blocks here just for the time being. I'm actually going to use bolts, run some bolts up. That way I'm actually thinking this is the perfect spot to get a fan, mount a fan right here, and it can blow that way and keep the amp cool. So I think that'll work out perfect. Got that back panel piece cut out, and I'm not going to take it up any further, just because I got this brackets bolted right here, and this is actually set in about 3/4 of an inch. I had to route the back side of that so it would sit on there flush. But I don't have anything bolted or nothing. It's just sitting in there right now. And that's where I'm gonna put this bracket at to help the bracing with that back wall. And another reason I'm gonna elevate the amp other than cooling is it'll actually keep it to where my power and ground wires won't interfere with this bracket right here. So that works out good too. I'm gonna round over the corners, round those over. I may or may not route this edge. I don't know just yet, but I'll figure that out when I get to it. And on this back side where my speaker wires go into the bed of the truck, I've got 2 little lines marked on this back panel, and I'm actually going to cut a groove so my speaker wires can run behind the capacitor and come out right around here and then plug straight into the amp like that. So yep, coming along pretty good. I'm actually really happy with this. It'll be nice and neat, nice and sleek. Oh yeah. I'm gonna try and figure out what I'm gonna do next, but I will update y'all when I figure that out. Alright, so a little update. Heading to get that headliner I was found on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm about 15 minutes out to get it. I'll be glad when I do get a headliner back in this thing, because I've been going without the sun visors, and this sun has been in my eyes like the whole time. But it's getting to a point now where I've been heading toward the sun the whole time, and it's getting about to where it's starting to set. So yeah, I got the bottom piece and the back piece, I got them temporarily screwed together, and I went ahead and I cut the groove for the speaker wire to run behind the capacitor. But other than that, I had to stop. I did get the corners, I cut the roundovers off on the corners and sanded that. And I figured out, I'm kind of, you sit here brainstorming while you're driving or whatever, just thinking what, how I could do it back there. I think, so it'll be a little bit lighter. The way I'm gonna have to build the speakers above the amp and the capacitor back there. I think I'm gonna do fiberglass, because I got some leftover resin and actually some fleece. I'm trying to do maybe a little fiberglass speaker setup back there. I think that'll look pretty good. But yeah, I'm gonna get off here, go get this headliner, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Alright, I'm back on this beautiful Saturday morning out here. Sun shining, birds chirping, and we out here working. Got that headliner picked up last night, and it's actually in a lot better shape than I thought it was from the pictures. I'm probably just going to throw some spray adhesive where this fabric's pulling away from this foam. Probably just do some spray adhesive on that and get that stuck back. I would have liked to have recarpeted this with that same fur that I have, but I mean, that was, close to 40 bucks for that material, and I was thinking, if I'm gonna eventually do a wood roof one day, might as well just keep this factory headliner for right now instead of spending that extra money. But yeah, get that thing glued up, get it back looking right. I run by Lowe's this morning, picked up some hardware for this amp, the amp mounts. So it's got some 2.5-inch bolts and some washers and some nuts and these little black rubber stoppers. I drilled a hole straight through the center of them, and that is just going to basically help with, one, keeping it elevated so the fan can blow and keep the amp cool, and two, for vibration. So that rubber is really going to cut down on the vibration that the amp would see from, the bass and everything. So working on this. I got the groove cut out. This is behind the capacitor, and this is where the speaker wire will run in behind here and then plug in to the positive and negative terminals on the amp. And I just cut that on the miter saw. I set the blade to where it didn't go all the way through the wood. It just left I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch of wood there. So that turned out really good. I still got to mount this metal bracket that's going to go right here. And next thing I got to do is figure out how I'm going to configure this speaker rack that's going to go above. I've already got my line marked right here. So this is the top of the capacitor. I just traced around the capacitor. So I know I need to at least be above this. So somewhere in this general area, I got to build a speaker rack right here. And I got some more. Oh yeah, and I had to run by AutoZone too. Got some more truck bed coating. And I actually got a deal on that because I got my AutoZone rewards, and that was when I was purchasing this. I got my five out of 5 rewards points. So I got like a $20 store credit, and I ended up actually got that $23 can of Raptor liner. It was $2.99 is what I paid for it. So I'll take that all day. But then just got some more, just some regular old spray can white, gloss white, and some gloss clear. And I got this capacitor charging up. It's only on a little 1 amp charger right now. I'm actually gonna have to go get my other charger because it's just not gonna cut it right now. It's at 6.78 volts. Let's see. Yeah, only 14.2 amps. So yeah, that's not gonna cut it. It is charging, but it's just not charging it fast enough. So I'm gonna get to work on this speaker rack, and then I'll update you whenever I get to a good spot, and I will see you then. Alright, so after a little bit of trial and error, this is what we come up with. So I just kind of got these there just for a reference, but this is about where I'm gonna mount the 6.5 and the tweeter. And I had to basically separate them because that's where that center brace is for the the whole amp rack. Went ahead and took this crossover out. I still got to take the other one out. That way I'm going to I'm gonna cut the circles out and then take it all apart, glue everything, and then wood filler. And then while that wood filler is drying, I'm gonna take this side panel off and remove these wires that I had run for when I had the headliner with the speakers. And that way I can put that factory headliner back in. And I've already put that spray adhesive on there and got it glued back on there really good. So I'm gonna get to working on cutting these circles out, and then I'll check back in here soon. So I didn't film it or anything, but while that paint was drying, I went ahead and got this headliner put in, got the visors back in, got it all buttoned up, got the LED light mounted, and it actually it covered up all the brackets up top there where that back upper part of the walls mounted. So really the only brackets you see is this one and the middle one and that one over there, but not too shabby for 30 bucks. And because this wood sticks out further than, you know, the factory glass window does, this headliner doesn't push all the way back, so it kind of has just a little bit of play there, but ain't nothing to worry about. I may or may not take and trim this edge, kind of make it more of a smooth transition from right there, and just trim that with a pair of scissors probably. But yeah, turned out pretty good. Well, that's a wrap on that. Check it out. Man, that turned out freaking awesome. So I got the speakers is hooked up to the crossovers, and I got the panel, it's all bolted down. So I got a bolt here holding it to the floor, and there's 2 bolts up here, one behind each speaker, and then one there and one behind the capacitor. And see, there's where the speaker wires is in that groove that I cut, and they're running back behind it. I just threw a piece of Gorilla Tape over it, so just kind of keep them in that groove really good. So got the fire extinguisher mounted right there. I still need to wire up this ultra cap, hook up my grounds, and jump a power wire jump from the battery to the ultra cap. But that's going to be the next video, and we'll be redoing my power wire running from the front to the rear, and then that way I can set my gains to where they need to be at. And I know I said I was going to do a demo in this video, but that'll have to wait till I get everything wired up. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.